Hey, what's up everyone, and welcome to my review for Unfriended, which is a brand new horror movie primarily focused on the internet. And really, when I say primarily, I mean completely focused on the internet. If it's Skype, Facebook, IM chatting, Spotify, whatever the hell you can think of besides Twitter. I never saw Twitter there, which I guess these teenagers are too cool for Twitter, so I guess they don't use it in this film. But most of the really big stuff that all the teenagers out there use to talk to their friends or listen to their music or type to their or text to their friends, they use in this movie, and it's all set around a ghost story about a woman named Laura Barnes who was embarrassed at a party. She's one of those chicks that's like, woo, let's party and stuff, and she's talking shit and stuff, and you immediately don't like her. And then she actually shits her pants. People record it because she's drunk as hell, and they film it. And 3 days later, she's embarrassed. Obviously, she kills herself, and it's tragic, sure, but again, it's not like they showed her as a likable character, so didn't really care, to be honest. And then a year after her death, every one of her friends, about 6 of them, goes on Skype all at once. They're all hanging out. You get the feeling that they do this a lot, where they actually get on Skype and just talk, I guess. And all 6 of them get online, and of course, one person enters the call, and they're like, who the hell is this guy? And then they find out, oh, is it the ghost of Laura Barnes? Who is it? Someone's screwing with him. Someone's saying, hey, people are going to die, and then some people start dying. What's going on? The mystery. Is it someone, screwing with us? Is it someone going around killing all these people? Is it a huge prank against one person? Who knows? You got to find out by watching the movie. So, there you go. That's the premise. That's the story, really. And, yeah, Unfriended, I thought, was actually a pretty solid horror movie with some really, really decent, creepy scenes. You're not going to get a typical, like, Woman in Black or Ouija film out of there. I'm just thinking of past horror films that came out in the last few months that use a lot of the jump scares, like the typical jump scares where the music starts quiet and then it rises up and then someone opens the door and it goes dun dun, and then there's something there or there's nothing there. They turn around and boo, something's there, and then loud music plays again. It's not that typical stuff here. There's going to be a lot of parts in this movie where you're going to be like, okay, what's going on here? I'm watching a person just IM chatting their boyfriend while there's a Skype call going on. And there's a lot of moving around between Facebook and the internet itself and Google image search and all that stuff, and then going back to Skype to talk to some of the friends. And then there's a bunch of sequences where, oh, they have to play a drinking game during the Skype game because the ghost character wants them to, or they're going to die. And there's a lot of sequences like that that are either you're going to think are a little boring, a little silly, or you're going to think, oh, this is building up to something. And for the most part, it does build up to stuff, and I thought that's when the movie really shined. The build up and then the payoff. I thought it was really well done. Probably my favorite part about the film is that it is creepy, don't get me wrong, but it uses paranoia and pitting friend against friend very well in this film, where there's a lot of like deceit going on in the background where, oh, the ghost is going to bring up like, oh, this person might have like cheated on their boyfriend with this person or something like that. And there's a lot of parts where just the paranoia gets ratcheted up and they start fighting each other. And those parts are, well, not actual fighting, like they're arguing with each other. And those parts are actually really good. And I actually thought even those are actually kind of funny at parts, because they kind of forget that there might be a ghost or a serial killer talking to them, and they're just like, oh, you did that? Oh, you're going to do me like that? Okay. Oh, I thought you were my friend. And they're just like arguing back and forth, where this ghost is just probably watching like, these guys are stupid. I'm just like, hey guys, remember I'm going to kill you? Yeah, shut up, ghost. Yo, you going to do me? You going to sell me out like that? And there's a lot of times where I was actually laughing, and I'm not sure if that's supposed to be funny, but I thought it was funny. Hopefully that was meant to be kind of humorous. Obviously it had to have been, because it was just like the paranoia ratcheted up so much that you forgot there was a freaking either a ghost or a serial killer in the call. It had to have been humorous. But anyway, I thought it was humorous, but not in a really terrible way. It was just like, oh, now back to killing. Oh, okay, yeesh. Because when it gets to the killing, oh man. Now, do not get me wrong. It's not the most bloodiest thing out there. Like the bloodiest death scene here is probably one of the characters shoves their arm into a blender, and then the next scene, like they hang up on him, and then they call him back, and then the next scene is him just like shoving his throat into the I guess the saw part of the blender or whatever, the thing that blends stuff, you know, the metal knife part, I guess. I never use the blender. I've never had a smoothie. You know, definitely not a healthy one, obviously, but that was probably the most gruesome one because you don't get to see too much of it. It's like, all right, he's doing this with his hand, and then it cuts away because of, you know, the call ends. And then they call him back, and they're like, no, come on, man. And then they bring him up, and he's just like, he's just like, oh, I'm dying. And then it cuts away, and you never see, like, the aftermath, his body, whatever. You never see that. I thought that was a really effective kill. And there's a couple that are really good, too. Like, there's a whole one where it has to do with a printed piece of paper. That's all I'm going to say. If you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. And that one was actually really like, what the hell's on the paper? What the hell's on the paper? And then when you find out, you're like, oh, I mean, he wasn't really a likable character anyway, but okay. There's a lot of really good paranoia in there. A lot of really good creepy scenes. A lot of pretty decent kills. Don't get me wrong. Like I said, there's not too many really bloody ones. There's a part where someone just shoots themselves in the head, and you don't even see the bullet hole or anything, you know. But hey, you have a good creepy thriller here with some really good kills and some good paranoia, some decent dialogue, and some pretty decent acting from a bunch of relatively nobodies, I guess. If I had any problem with this film, and like I mean big problem, it's the ending. The ending made me go, oh, okay, so you really want this to be the next Paranormal Activity. Okay, I see. Because they use the internet stuff really well. There's times where she's like typing and stuff, and she's misspelling things, and she's going back to Facebook and to websites to see if this is like, this whole thing is real or something like that. And then at the end, I can't even spoil what happens at the end. It pretty much does what it does at the end of Paranormal Activity 1, where it's just like, oh, it's building up, it's building up. And if it ended 5 seconds before what they showed at the end, if it ended like right at the scene, I'll just say when the laptop goes down, that's all I'll say. If it ended there, perfect. It would have been like, oh, that's great. You don't know what's going to happen. You just like, oh, you feel like the movie ended perfectly. But then they had to do that last jump scare, and that kind of ruined not the ending or the movie itself, but it ruined the ending. It didn't ruin the movie itself. It was just like, oh, jump scare. Okay, well, the movie's over. All right, that was good. I liked it. I really did. I did like Unfriended, and I was actually contemplating seeing it again because I like seeing people's reactions. I do, and I might go see it again. I liked it quite a bit, and it's short. It's only like 80 minutes long. None of the characters are relatively likable, but you don't really need that from this. All the different things that get dropped, like, oh, you did this and you did that, that's entertaining enough to make you not really care if the characters are likable or not. I'm going to give this a 33 out of 40. I really enjoyed it. I thought Unfriended was a really good, pretty damn creepy movie. There might be a ghost in here, so shh. I'm going to get off the internet before they kill me. Goodbye.